Let's go to Numenor.
No.
Because I'm sick of ruining.
Why?
It is a silly place.
We have to, because we have to wrap up the Numenor plot, because it's really good.
Yeah.
This
Let's
scene,
go.
They
This is a good one, though. You got to admit, this one's pretty good.
they dump some bullshit on us in about 30 seconds, and I was like, okay, I'll make a note of that and put a pin in that for later, expecting that it was going to be explained, and it fucking isn't. Because I guess they haven't learned by now that that's how it works in Rings of Power.
Pharazôn has brought all of the leaders of the faithful into the little palace chamber, and he says that Nuril has a secret ally who helped her bewitch the sea so that she could survive the trial. She wasn't actually super cool. She used evil magic or whatever. And then he goes to the leader of the faithful. We'll call him the Pope. And he gives the Pope this paper. And the Pope reads it, and he's like, Sauron? And now Pharazôn says all the faithful are traitors. What's happening?
I have no idea.
I wish I could tell you.
After this one, I was like, well, I'm out. I was barely in, but I'm so out with Numenor. You guys fucking change the rules every scene. I don't care anymore. Pharazôn can just announce that that's the case, and it can just uproot the entire cultural system in place. Whatever, fuck you.
Who sent the letter? Where did that come from? How did they learn it?
It's just him who wrote it.
Go along with it.
I think he just wrote it.
Yeah, so what I think happened is in episode 6, we had when Pharazôn used the Palantir and he saw Halbrand. Yeah. Because he says in this scene, it's an enemy that has been here once and he's shat in our soup or whatever he says. So he somehow knows that Halbrand is Sauron. I guess the Palantir told him.
Yeah.
And the connective tissue there is that Nuril worked with Halbrand. So therefore, Nuril is working with Sauron. He's written it on a little notice, and he's handing it out that's why she survived the sea trial. And now all of you guys are traitors because Sauron worked with Nuril that one time. But that's what I think they've done, but that they have not explained that very well at all.
And he certainly can't explain that he used the Palantir in order to find out this knowledge. So who knows how he explains how he knew any of this, or that he knows it at all.
The first question someone else there should be asking is, wait, who is this? How do you know this? Where did you get this information from?
Who is Sauron?
Yeah.
People should be asking questions of him back.
Yeah.
And it also means that wild idea I know for a $1 billion show, why not save some time earlier and flesh out things later by skipping the stupid trial by sea demon thing entirely, given that it now goes nowhere? The whole point of that was, she's presumed guilty, but she survived the trial, so now she's back and she's in charge. Oh, no, she's not, because a letter says so. Fucking, what's the point? Just skip the sea demon and condemn her and then flesh out something else.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said earlier that all of the Numenor stuff basically happened in one episode where he took over because of the eagle. At that point, he can immediately use the Palantir. He will then, I guess, learn that Halbrand is Sauron, and then it's oh, okay, well, the faithful are all traitors. Season done. That's it. Everything that happened in between was just busy work.
Yeah. So Pharazôn now has done 3 horrible things since he's become king. There's no way the general populace is this fucker sucks. We're gonna topple him immediately. Let's get all the soldiers he just fucking abolished and just get them.
No consequences, no.
Because they don't have another army. As far as I know.
Majerbs, though. Majerbs.
Something else is as a result of the show just not explaining itself very well at all is that all of the guys running around that are dressed as guards are supposed to be the King's Men, which has been named once, but they've been described as the men of the king, not the faction called the King's Men. And we are expected to believe at this point that they are Pharazôn's team. They are the guys who are on Team Pharazôn and they are opposed to the faithful. But those are the same guys who served Nuril 5 fucking minutes ago.
Yeah.
So surely at least some of them should be on Team Nuril. But they're not, because they have to be against the faithful. They're just robots who do what Pharazôn says.
Yeah, because we never get to know what the populace even thinks, or what all the other characters are that are not main characters, because they don't matter. We have those proxy characters that decide how they feel.
It's just that the populace of Numenor thinks whatever any particular scene needs them to think. So that's why season 1, everyone is riled up against elven immigrants stealing jobs, and then when it's time to go to war, everyone really supports the war, and then when it's time for everyone not to support the war, none of them support the war again. And then it goes into this season. You've got like that small group of the faithful in the church, which I think is the only time the Kingsmen are referenced as a faction when they come in and attack. And then like, okay, so there are divisions within the populace, but then they all get basically murdered and no one gives a shit, so no one cares. But like, is it 50-50? How big are the support factions? It's like it's trying to do politics, but it's retarded, and it's like it doesn't know how to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like something else to mention here is that this high priest is the same guy from he's shown to be like, I guess, the leader of the faithful, other than Nuril, I guess. He's been around for the longest, and he's given this document that's like that Muriel's working with Sauron. We don't get to know what he thinks about that. Does he think like, Pharazon, you're fucking lying, or does he think, okay, has Nuril been hiding something from me? We have no idea.
Do you have any fucking evidence of this?
Was the Pope in the scene in the church earlier? Was he in that scene as well?
Yeah, he's the guy that was like running the ceremony. He's the guy that tells Kemen this is the oldest shrine in Numenor. It's the same guy.
A guy whose last interaction with the Kingsmen was them coming in and essentially enacting a pogrom against his people, in which like important members get murdered, and yet he willingly in this scene says, "Oh well, we've been summoned into this room. What can possibly go wrong?"
Yep, indeed.
It's like the Pike Syndicate guy having Kves come into his office and be like, "Oh, could you do this little job for me? Even though you've massacred hundreds of my men up to this point,
even though I've actively sent death squads to kill you."
Ignore those. They're automatic. I have to cancel my subscription.
It's a political thing. I have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I have to.
Also, a small thing I noticed, if you look at the parchment, has like the writings on it that he gives to the faithful guy. It's like a pretty long text, and he looks at it for like half a second. He's like, Sauron? As if he like already understood what the fuck is happening in this whole text.
He scanned through it. He was just looking for who the spooky individual was that apparently bewitched the sea monster.
The show is terrified of giving me as an audience member information.
Like if we knew what that document said, because I when I first watched it, I thought it was a letter that he had been sent by Sauron, for example, because he talked about wanting to go to Numenor and give them rings or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it is meant to just be a document that Pharazon has like written up to say, well, all of you guys are traitors now because Nuril worked with Sauron. But if we knew what it said, that would answer so many questions. The reason why we don't know what it says is because the writers don't know. Otherwise, he would read it. Like, why would...
I have decided that my political opponent works with Satan.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what I mean.
Why
it's
would
so
you think
funny.
that would work? But it does.
It does work. Yeah, perfectly. It's so bullshit. They're not even trying. Not even remotely. It's so...
Nobody cares in Numenor. Nobody... It's Meadow mentioned it before. It's like, ever since Pharazon's been in charge, everything's gone to shit.
Yeah, it's all horrible.
Like a week.
Well, like,
in
so...
maybe 2 weeks tops.
You know, the Fall of Numenor? At this point, it's just like, whatever. You know, like, who cares?
I don't care. I cared a little bit at the end of season 1. Now I don't.
Anyway.
It's already fucked.
It's already shit.
At least there's not a big wave coming.
Also, so they kind of pay lip service to the idea of, is it Western Numenor or East Numenor? I can't remember.
West Numenor.
Yeah, which is where Isildur wanted to go. It's where Elendil is about to tell Nuril to go, or vice versa even. Why do none of the faithful, like the old man, the high priest, why don't they just go there?
They have no agency or autonomy. That's why.
Well, because they seem to depict it as like they seem to refer to it as like a safe haven away from Pharazon, where you can just live free and be as faithful as you want to the Valar. Why? Like, Pharazon's in charge of Numenor, which is the island. So I don't know how it works because they haven't done any world building. It's shown to be a safe haven, but also it can't be a safe haven, essentially.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be.
It is an unsafe haven.
Like, you have different lords of Numenor and shit, but, you know, the High King still has, you know, massive authority over everything.
And they always refer to it as... Because Numenor is the name of the island, not the city, right?
Yeah.
Probably called Numenor City.
I forget what the
New Numenor,
like the capital. There are a few cities on there.
Numenor, maybe, but
New Numenor.
He says everyone is a traitor from Westerness. Is Westerness the name of the city? I don't know what that is because they've not used that word before.
I think it might just be a different name for Numenor. Either that or it's the Western Province.
Okay.
Yeah, like other names for Numenor. One of them is Westerness.
I thought that was just a girl western. All right.
Menelaus is the name of the capital.
Menelaus, I love him. He's a cool guy.
Our Menelaus.
Oh boy, what a great guy. With this scene happens, and Aarion is here, and she sees all this happening, and then Aarion is.
She's having her
think
"Are
the
we
best-
the baddies" moment.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I think it-
powered much earlier.
I think my note here is Aarion apparently doesn't like leopards eating her face.
Yep.
I can't believe that it actually is the case that she is going to be largely responsible for enabling Numenor's downfall.
Yeah.
Well, and then every
she's
step of
fucking
the way,
retarded.
every step she should have realized, and she just hasn't until
Oh,
the writers were
right,
like,
she was
"Okay,
getting
you're allowed to
fucking
realize now." And
Yeah,
like,
now when it's too late.
yeah, obviously,
Also-
it had to be when it was too late. They couldn't let her do anything that would, prevent.
There's a
it.
Her
whole-
dad was being executed like a
Yeah.
few days ago. What?
There's a
The
whole
extent
list
of
of
her
things
motive
that-
as well, because they have that scene when Elendil's in the prison and she's basically says that it's because of the Queen and the faithful, like our family has lost everything, which is going to make it very inconvenient when in about a scene's time, Elendil says to the Queen, "Oh yeah, we should go to West Numenor because I've got my other son over there." Like her brother is also over there, so she hasn't lost everything. She's lost one brother, and that was made out to seem like it was everything, like the entire family was basically destroyed by that, but it's not. It's not even half the family.
I guess
It's
the
one
mother-
quite shitty member of the family.
It would also include the mother, but we have very limited information on that. We don't actually know when it happened. It may have
She
happened.
drowned because fucking Isildur swam out too far, and the sea is always right, so it punished him vicariously.
Fucking fuck up of a son.
It's funny because the more the show goes on, just remembering all those little tidbits makes every new adjustment and new development funnier.
Also,
sure does.
except Valandil, no one ever challenged her again on the whole moral things. Like, hey, the queen is blind because she tried to save your brother. She never even reacted to that ever.
Well,
And no one
apparently there was an entire scene cut because I can't remember. Is it Emma Horvath, the actress who plays?
Yes.
So she said that they had cut out a scene where it was between her and Valandil. I always get his name wrong. Valandil, the one who dies. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's an entire scene apparently, which is now not in the show, between them, which is just a dialogue scene where like her motive is established, especially with regard to him, because she's lost her brother. She wants somebody to grieve with, but everyone's refusing to do that. And so like she's been driven away by everyone's refusal to relate to her. And that scene, which seems to me quite important, was just cut out completely. So now all we have is just this inexplicable bitch who goes around ruining everybody's world for no
This
reason.
inexplicable bitch.
I hate my kids.
Aarion is, she's probably going to get off scot-free for everything. She
Oh, for
actually
sure.
worked with a crazy evil guy doing evil things, and she was with him 100% of the way. And then she's like, oh, well, this is just, I can't believe he did this.
I mean,
And-
she's probably going to stick around and help Muriel, maybe, like to atone for her sins, and then
Maybe.
she's not going
Well-
to fix everything because we know what happens. But
I think
Well-
he's gonna be evil again, like next episode.
They start rounding up everybody in the room and basically saying they're under arrest or whatever for being traitors. Aarion slips away out of the palace, and she goes down into the city where we see the opening scene of the Prince of Egypt, where a bunch of guards are going into random houses and dragging people out of their homes and into the streets, like the city's getting sacked.
Yep.
Because I guess they're looking for faithful people, or looking for, like, it's absolute insanity. It's nuts. And all of these guards they're all just doing it.
They just know where the people are as well. They just it's like you're definitely faithful. You live here. We know this.
It's like Farazan, you didn't even really. I didn't care about you at all, but like you've lost your fucking mind. Like,
Yeah, he's just fucking bonkers.
All he had to do was nothing.
yeah. What threat
Because
were they
Muriel
really
was-
to him? All
Muriel-
these people didn't matter
Muriel was
anyway.
saying it's cool. Muriel's
Yeah.
like, nah, it's chill if he's in charge. It's all good. It's nothing to worry about.
Mhm.
And if
Muriel
he
had
just was
to
like,
tell
okay,
everybody.
I guess I'll do we want to like propose a bill for infrastructure or something? It's like, no, he turns into Psycho Hitler and he starts to round up everyone else in the world in Numenor and make everything he does should make people despise him immensely.
And this happens so fast as well, like in a couple of weeks, maybe.
A couple of minutes. It's so fast. So yeah, guards are just going around dragging people out of their homes, willy-nilly. I guess none of the guards were part of the faithful or believed in Muriel, because
none of them have a soul. None of them fucking even think for a second this is wrong. They're all drones. No. It's ridiculous.
They're all just meat puppets. It's like, do the thing. Okay, nom.
So
my brain is melting.
I understand.
Where the fuck's the eagle? Come back and save us.
Yeah, the eagle. This is your fault. You said this guy was the winner, I guess, is what you did, and now he's
the eagle's like, I did what?
Right?
No, I didn't. Lord Bulbasaur stole it from you.
Lord Bulbasaur.
Did you know that you voted for Hitler, Eagle? And you were voting for
I did no
such
thing. I never even cast a vote. I just wanted to turn up and see what was going on.
So down in the city, we get a stock sound effect of a jar breaking, and the most expensive show ever made. And Arian goes to look for Elendil, her father. He's obviously not very happy with her.
He looks so done.
Previous
like,
behavior. He's just got a job. He's got a job waiting tables, cleaning up at a bar. You know, he's just making ends meet.
Well, and every time he sees her, he's like, "What's the new thing? You gonna kill me?
What have you done?
What are you gonna do to me now?
What is it?" So the guards come there to find Elendil, and Arian says that there are no faithful here. And the guards are like, "Oh, we still want to look." And she says, "Well, I'm going to report you to Pharazôn for insolence, so you should leave because it's insolence to double check to make sure there are no political
I've seen
criminals
movies
here."
before. What do you mean? Just shut up. That's just stupid. You wouldn't say that unless you had something to fucking hide, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Not
no, Mahler, this is
all,
Rings of Power. He leaves.
She's going out of her way to rescue her father, who, like 2 episodes ago, she was happy for him to be fed to a fucking sea monster.
No, she cried a bit.
I mean, she wasn't happy about it, but she was very upset.
She was willing to have it happen unless he apologized. Whereas now, it's just no fuck him.
She was also the reason it happened.
May I say I love this Scooby-Doo shot in the
Yes.
episode.
Yeah. I was thinking Tom and Jerry, but Scooby-Doo is
all they needed to have to complete this scene was to have like a hallway with like 8 doors. And then Elendil goes in one door, and then the guards follow him, and then he comes out another one on the other side, and then the guard goes to a different door, and then they cross over and get in different doors, and it would have been the best episode, but we can't do that because this is a serious show for serious people. Okay,
seriously sick of this show.
I'm sick. You're whining. We got to get through the episode. All right, focus.
I will whine
We're almost
more.
there.
We're here to whine. We are here to whine.
So close to being done.
Didn't you see my avatar? It's crying all the time.
No, tears of joy.
Sure.
Tears of fear in his current one.
Yeah, it's like,
that's Valandil's ghost behind your chair, and he's like, "How come no one mentions me?"
I'm sorry, Valandil.
And you're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "See." All right, so I guess she has authority over like the little things that all of the guards in the city do and the palace stuff. I guess her position is that high that she has somehow obtained authority enough to order around the guards and their actions. So yeah, I guess none of the guards in the city are part of the faithful. They seem to be a huge faction in the city.
They've all been replaced off screen.
I guess, because these are the same guards I thought that protected Muriel just like last week, but now they have completely flipped 100%, and now they're just like, you know what? We're just going to drag people out of their homes at night and start arresting people, and boy, we just love being evil. We don't have souls or thoughts or opinions on anything. We're just guards.
We're guards.
It's funny, the guards, do you see this later when they arrive in another place? All these people look like way more evil now. And from
in
before they took over, before Pharazôn took over, they just look evil. They have like evil faces. It's like very fun.
No.
If you were an evil person though, and like you were going to do effectively Crystalnacht in Numenor, would you make your first priority be going to the Queen and the leader of the faction you hate, who is apparently working with Satan, to arrest her, or would you do that after you'd gone around smashing pottery for a bit?
I mean, they have a history. They have a
What's the
history of not going to the biggest person in
she's
Numenor.
blind. What's she gonna do? It doesn't
Fall down
matter.
the
We don't
stairs.
care.
You don't even have someone guard her, like to make
Well-
sure no one else goes to see her.
You don't arrest her yet because we have to have a scene where Elendil goes and has a conversation with her, and if she's arrested, that might be difficult.
Damn it, that's right.
That's the thought process of the Rings of Power writers, unironically, I think.
No, yeah, they would say that as though it's like a thing that it's smart that they've done this, and you'd be like, no, you haven't
Like,
solved
she's
the
not arrested
problem.
because we have to have Elendil has to have a conversation with her. You guys are
How
gonna love
did he
this
get?
scene.
How did he get to her? It happens
Legs,
off screen.
yeah.
It's fine.
He off screen.
Legs.
He off screened his way to her.
Yeah.
We
Grappling
got there.
hook.
He just. Oh yeah,
Grappling
Gil
hook,
Galad let him borrow his grappling hook. He said, Elendil, this is the grappling hook that felled Damrod, the orc.
He
As you
shipped
know,
it with
Elendil
UPS
can
over the
climb
fucking ocean.
anything.
I want you to have it. I want you to have this as a token of my esteem of you.
He just portals in and says, "A king's place is where the need is greatest."
I could sense that you needed this grappling hook to get into Muriel's house.
We get like a full-on
not-
POV episode where it's like horrifying because he just goes, he just pulled into another place. He's like, "Oh, I'm needed here. Who's in trouble?"
I
Now-
also like the idea of like later down the line, just Galadriel's like, "And to you, Frodo Baggins, I leave you the grappling hook that defeated Tamriel."
And it's like it's as big as Frodo is, and he has to carry it around everywhere he goes. This random grappling hook.
Oh, it's such a
Mr.
way
Frodo,
to
why
carry.
don't you drop this grappling hook? We don't ever need it. He's like, no, Sam. The Lady
That's just
Galadriel
what they
gave this to
want you to
me.
think.
It was a gift.
We must grapple this hook all the way to Mordor.
And then he uses it after he gets like pushed off the thing by Gollum. He uses it to hook
Grapples
himself back
back
up.
up.
Once Shelob is about to eat Frodo, he remembers, now this is the grappling hook of Damrod's Troll's Bane. Use it when all other grappling hooks don't.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Rags, the chat
That's
says,
what she says. I don't know.
No, you
said-
trails fuck it.
Just use it.
What?
It's a giant spider, Frodo. I don't know what you're gonna do. you might be fucking dead, bro.
We've also got for you, Sam. I leave you the ladle of Gluck.
Make no sauce everything.
In the Second Age, this was used to saute the orc's roast. Use it when all other ladles leak or something.
May your gravy ever be thick.
Everyone's holding all these amazing weapons and tools, and he's just there with a ladle, like, okay, but I don't know. Okay, I guess.
Frodo's carrying this massive grappling hook, and he's like, "Yo, Sam, do you want to trade?" This
He's like,
thing's
"I don't know."
huge. It's as big as me. I gotta carry this and the ring. Okay. Elendil and Muriel are talking. This is serious.
Not
Wipe
this
those
scene.
smiles off your faces. This is a good one. No, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Oh, okay,
All right.
okay. I
So,
trust you.
Elendil tells Muriel that they need to go west because there are faithful there, and so is his son Anarion.
Which we've
Muriel
never seen.
says, "No, we haven't because he's out west. That's why we haven't seen him."
Yeah.
Muriel says that she's not going. Her place is here. She tells him to take the sword from the thing that we all know and love. She's like, I need you to take the sword. It's called Narsil.
How did she find it though? She's blind. Like this, did she like sniff it out? Like how did she know which sword it was?
Narsil has a distinct odor.
Yeah.
Elendil looks at it, and then they do the unsheathing like sound
So,
effect.
you know what's
well,
fun?
it's got a distinct odor to it. Narsil is actually the Sindarin word for nostril.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So I was watching this with Random and Rags earlier today, and I completely forgot about the name of that sword. So for me, it's just like, why did he just name the sword? What's going on? And then they reminded me, it's like, oh, but they do it so unceremoniously. Like it's just here's the sword with the name. It's like,
Yes.
oh, okay.
It is
And it's-
Narsil, before it gets broken.
Yeah,
Well, I
before
guess
it
it's
gets
Narsil.
broken.
And then
Well,
after it is
No.
reforged.
This feels like it's a more apt thing to say. It is Narsil. That's it, because you don't know anything about this sword if you were taking this story as it is.
Exactly, that's what I was
We've
trying
all
to...
seen the Lord of
Or
the
what is going to happen in
Rings.
the Lord of the Rings. This
Like,
is just
Yeah,
a
it's
sword.
gonna get bigger in Lord of the Rings. Is what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I take it that in the lore there is like, is there anything special about Narsil, or is it just a sword
Yes.
that was handed down and handed down?
It was created by the dwarves in the First Age, and it
What
has
I'm
magical
getting at
bullshit
is
powers.
more so. It's a problem with this show. The show
Oh,
hasn't done
of course,
anything.
The show hasn't told us anything about this
It
sword
spends over a
specifically.
minute being like, "Hey guys, look, it's a sword, and it's called Narsil. Hey, I bet you like that. We're
It's
going to
Well,
look at
it's,
the camera on it."
it's if
Yeah.
it's if
meta.
Tom Bombadil got Gandalf to go to sleep, and he's like, "Here's your blanket," and then the editing it swells and music comes up, and he gets this blanket, and we're all like, "What?"
But the problem is,
Then-
it's just like, yeah, you haven't done any of the work.
Well, yeah, and someone says like, "Oh, if you saw this other show, this other set of movies, this other books, it's like you know that blanket's real special." You're like, "Okay."
Yeah, but that's not your story. Your story is here, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time that we have even seen or heard
Correct.
Narsil in this show.
Correct.
Yeah, so
This is
it's
not
entirely
set up. It
meta.
comes out of nowhere.
It's entirely meta, especially.
It comes out of,
yeah.
it's so much of a surprise. It takes a blind lady to point it out to us.
And then, of course, like having Elendil mirroring Aragorn, like the same shots, like the same movements, is actually like unbelievable to me. It's insane to me that they actually believe that what they've accomplished with Nuril and Elendil is the same as what was accomplished with Aragorn and Elrond in
It's
Return of the King.
embarrassing. It's super embarrassing.
That's
just
unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
The shots are almost one for one. They're a bit.
They are,
shorter,
yeah.
but yeah.
But like, there's none of
like-
the character. There's none of the history. Because of course, in Return of the King, you know what the sword is because you saw it in
Yes.
the prologue. You know what it represents. You know what it means that Elrond of all people is giving this sword to Aragorn. There's
Yes.
so
Oh, yeah.
much that's being declared by giving him this sword. It's like you have restored my faith in men. I have faith in you. Reclaim your reclaim your destiny. Obviously, just logistically, this is going to help you win the battle. So you need this. You need to save Middle Earth because that's how you're going to save Arwen, which is obviously very important to Elrond. You got all of that packed in, as well as the fact that it's like, well, he earned it because of all of the crazy things he's done in the whole trilogy. You know, Aragorn earned it. He displayed why he was worthy of acquiring it. It's actually crazy that they tried to mirror it. Like, yeah, we're the same. Are you serious?
Yep.
They don't
Someone
even
that-
do like the minimum work where Muriel could have said like, this sword belonged to my father and he used it to do a thingy or something. It's literally just,
Anything, yeah.
this is Narsil. It's yours now. Get your destiny. That's
They
it.
could have given
Narsil.
some history. of
And
the
you know
story.
what? I sure hope it doesn't get shattered at some point to then get reforged into Nuril, everybody.
Don't step on it too hard. Yeah.
As someone in chat said, take up your mother's trident.
Yes.
Better times.
Narsil comes out of nowhere in this show, and they had an opportunity to have it be around as maybe like a ceremonial sword that the ruler of Numenor has on them when they conduct official business. And we can see that it looks like Narsil, but they never point it out. It's just something that is only worn by either Muriel or Pharazôn when they're in the palace doing their official duties. And then it's stolen, it's taken away from Pharazôn when no one's looking, and then she's like, this is a symbol of, the authority of Numenor and our people and stuff like that. He doesn't, we've seen what he's done, he doesn't deserve it. Take this, and with it, the spirit of the, Numenor is with you, or something like that. So at least there'd be some reason for it to not just show up out of nowhere, but this is why we have it, and this is what it means, and this is the sword that the ruler of Numenor is supposed to have on them.
I'd say, like, even bearing in mind them trying to essentially emulate, like, there's none of the gravitas in the filmmaking, right? Of, like, they will answer to the King of Gondor, and then whipping out Andoril slow motion, like a clean view of the sword in a very dramatic way with a musical cue accentuating it, and then the same deal, right, when Aragorn unsheaths it. It's one of the best scenes. Like, it's actually
really good.
excellent. It's excellent. And I can't believe that they actually thought like that they were even in a position to try and echo or mirror that payoff.
It's a
Like as if
cheap
these
copy.
two characters. It
yeah.
is.
Yeah, so she says, reclaim your lordship, and with this sword, your destiny.
Or if you say
we
so.
don't know what that means because we've seen the Lord of the Rings.
But destiny is a cool fantasy word, so we put that in there.
Destiny.
Yeah, but
reclaim
destiny
your
what?
dial of destiny.
Like your destiny to get killed and have your sword broken so that your son can cut off his fingers.
Yeah.
and then get shot in a river by arrows.
Because he got corrupted by the ring.
The sea is always right.
It's the spookiest time of year, and what's more suitable than EFAP celebrating with a brand new set of terrifying plushies? Introducing the EFAP Halloween plushie set, starting with Mauler the Longpire, a terrifying monster of bloodthirst and long. This cuddly beast is both infamous and primal in his desire to drain the very soul from the world of media, and he's coming for you. But he's not alone. How could the Longpire be complete without his trusty doggo? Ragzolantern. Poised charmingly in his pumpkin, your Ragzolantern will be there to offer his support and encouragement and sarcastic commentary to all your endeavors. This gourd-adorned Shiba Inu will give your pumpkin patch a pantalooned pooch's worth of company, and of course, both of these fine, fiendish fellows are joined by yet another. Though his eyes may have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, Fringy the Raven will gladly perch atop your couch, cuddly and at the ready. This corvid ventures nowhere without his scythe, and he's more than ready to slash his way through all obstacles. But not without the final member of this cutthroat cohort. Hear the bell as it strikes the hour of the wolf. When the midnight sky is red, a beast shall emerge from the forest to plunder your local pizza parlor. Behold, the dreaded werewolf, complete with the sunken eyes of a beast who avoids the searing heat of the sun, carrying with him a slice of his latest victim. This legend of the night will surely be a fantastic addition to this crew of dark demons and pumpkin playmates. But that's not all, no sir. Have you ever left home only to worry you're leaving the members of your favorite podcast behind? Do you despair when Mauler's commentary, Fringy's laughs, Wolf's fury, or Rags' puns aren't around anymore? Well, anguish no longer. Now you can stay warm and cozy during those chilly autumn days while constantly explaining to everyone that no, it's not electronic fapping, I swear. Introducing the official Every Frame a Pause Halloween hoodie. Perfect for lounging around indoors, shopping, long walks on the pier, weddings, baby showers, funerals, Halloween, Christmas. Complete with the expected furnishings of the season, as well as some gorgeous artwork by Black Soul Odin. The EFAP hoodie is ready to keep you warm and comfy through those winter months. There may even be a surprise guest on the back. Pick up yours today, because once the campaign ends, it'll be gone for good. And don't forget Mauler the Longpire, Ragzolantern, Fringy the Raven, and Werewolf. Completing the EFAP Halloween set. For every item you pick up together, the discount will increase. Be sure about what you'd like before it's too late, as the spooky season will not last forever. Find them all at makeship.com/shop/EFAP. All links can be found in the description. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the show. We will see you next time.